Good evening. Russia launched a lethal barrage of strikes against multiple Ukrainian cities this morning, including in the capital Kyiv for the first time in months. The attacks are a military escalation by Moscow and are being seen as revenge for what we saw happen over the weekend. Let's take you through what we know. The Ukrainians say 83 missiles were fired by Russian forces, but 43 of those were shot down by air defences. There were several strikes in the capital Kyiv where at least 8 people were killed in one of those attacks alone. Explosions also rocked the western city of Lviv, over here on the left-hand side of our map. That's a refuge, you might remember, for many fleeing from the eastern side of Ukraine. Also in Kyiv, here on the map, which was struck 3 times, according to the mayor there. Strikes also reported in several other cities like Dnipro here in the east and Ternopil over near Lviv, again on the left-hand side there. And these attacks are being seen as revenge by Vladimir Putin's forces after an attack on a bridge linking Russia and the annexed Crimea back on Saturday. Well, we should warn you, the report you're about to see from Simon Weigar contains footage which you may find distressing from the start.
Screams of terror as Kyiv comes under attack once more. The missiles hit during the morning rush hour. Russia claimed power, communications and military were the prime targets, but were not the only places which were hit. This was a park and playground, now left with a huge crater. And it wasn't just the capital. This appears to be from the dash cam of a car in Dnipro today. As the morning radio played, one explosion to the left, and then an even bigger one dead ahead. As debris rained down, the cars made rapid 3-point turns. Bodies of the dead were covered in the road, while firefighters put out the fires in the gutted cars and vans.
The Russians...
One resident told me how today has taken them back to the first days of the invasion.
All of them came very closely in the center to where I live. And that's when the earth shook under our feet. It's terror. There's no other way to explain it. And I think the most important thing to understand is that Ukrainians have an international right and duty to prevent their own genocide.
The escalation can be summed up with 2 bridges. This pedestrian bridge was hit in Kyiv this morning, and it follows Saturday's explosion on a Russian bridge connecting it to occupied Crimea. Ukraine has not claimed responsibility for this, with hints that Russia did it as a setup or a false flag. We are dealing with terrorists, said the Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky. He continued, there may be temporary interruptions in electricity, but there will never be interruptions with certainty, the certainty of victory. Vladimir Putin throws the accusation of terrorism back the other way. He said, it is simply impossible to leave crimes of this kind unanswered. Another targeted city was Kharkiv. It was hit multiple times, forcing people to take shelter in metro stations. This woman says, this is expected. People are worried. I wish it would end as soon as possible. But there's no sign of it ending soon. No sign at all. A war that started in the winter is surely heading towards its second. Simon Weigar, 5 News.